Good morning, Monarchs. Welcome to the video for the homework help for worksheet 3.6. So first we'll go over which of the problems we are completing. So we'll be completing all of the problems except for the review questions. You can do the review questions for 1 point extra credit if you'd like. I'll give you some extra credit if you do want to do them. If not, go ahead and just put a giant X through them. Okay, so now I'll do one from each section with you guys. So this first section, we're just finding absolute value. So remember, the big thing with absolute value is anytime we see a negative in absolute value, that negative will become positive. So anytime we have absolute value, it has to be a positive integer. So for example, we have -1/2 here. The absolute value of -1/2, we would simply change it positive. So it would just be 1/2. Okay. Let's take a look at number 2. It says to solve each absolute value equation by isolating the variable and then graphing on the number line. Okay. So let's take a look at C. If we look at C, it's one of them that we were working with in the notes that the absolute value equation is not by itself right now. Okay, so in order to move or to get it by itself, this +2 has to move to the other side of the equal sign. In order to do that, we'll do the opposite. So we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. So 2 minus 2 is 0, 11 minus 2 is 9. So now I have the absolute value of x equals 9. So now I can split up my two equations, okay? So now I just split it up to x equals 9 or x equals, we can't forget about our negative answer, so or x equals -9. Okay, and then for my graph, all I do is I put a closed dot above both of those numbers. So I'll put a closed dot above 9, and I'll put a closed dot above -9. Okay, so that one is fairly simple, just straightforward like the notes. We just had to move the +2 before we could solve this. Okay, and then we split our equation up into a positive and a negative. Let's take a look at the back now, number 3. So number 3, we are solving each absolute value equation by isolating the variable and then graphing on the number line. So very similar to number 2, but all of these ones we have to do something before we can split these up. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do B with you guys. For B, as you can see, the absolute value is not by itself. So we need to get it by itself. Right now there's a 3 multiplying it and there's this -12. So first we need to move what is not attached to it, which would be this -12. So I'm going to do the opposite, which would be a +12. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So I have 3 times the absolute value of x equals, is -12 plus 12 is 0. 18 plus 12 is 30. Okay. Now I need to get rid of that 3 because I need my absolute value by itself. It's multiplying my absolute value. The opposite of multiplication would be division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Okay. I'm going to write my answer up here. I now have the absolute value of x equals 10 because 30 divided by 3 would be 10. So now I'm going to split this up. Okay. I have x equals 10, or we can't forget about our negative, x equals -10. Okay. And then for my graph, it's just going to be a closed dot above 10 and a closed dot above -10. All right, so I'm going to put a closed dot above 10. And I'm going to put a closed dot above -10. Okay, so that is that problem for you guys. Remember, you don't have to do the review problems, but I will give you a point of extra credit if you do them. So please make sure to turn this homework into Miss Salazar. Send some pictures of it to her with your name and period. Okay, thank you guys.